Hello, and welcome to Mindset Mondays with DTK. This is episode number 50 in a year-long series of weekly Facebook Live broadcasts. This has been created for folks with a growth mindset or those who'd like to develop one as a playground to toss around new ideas, new concepts, and try on new mindsets. I'm David Taylor Klaus, and here's the playground today. And there's been lots of fun conversations already about who really said this quote. So here's the one we're playing with today. This is from Sir William Wallace, the Guardian of Scotland. Everybody dies, but not everybody lives. So this quote is from let me do the math, 514 years ago. Everybody dies, but not everybody lives. So I've been playing around with some of the articles that are out there, and I was fascinated. Not only are there the articles that say, the first person to live to 150 has already been born. Now there are folks yammering on about, I think David Goldhill has written an article about there's someone alive today who lived to be 1,000. This goes back to the idea, conversations about the Aubrey de Grey and other folks who were saying that aging can either be slowed, halted, or even reversed by technological intervention. So whether 1,000 is possible during my lifetime, whether you believe that's likely or not, I think it's fantastical rather than fantastic. The idea that the first person who will live for a century and a half is already alive and walking this planet. It's amazing, right? Even though we have, through those medical advancements and our current understanding of science, yes, we've dramatically extended human lifespan, but eventually we die. Death right now is not a choice, it's an eventuality. No, this is not supposed to be Monday morning buzzkill. The idea is death is assured, living is a choice. That's that simple truth. So the awareness of one's mortality can be paralyzing for some. God, if you have anxiety, this can be paralyzing. And even for those who don't have anxiety, it can be a stumbling block. But it's kind of oddly reassuring and somewhat motivating for me, right? The knowledge that time is finite, and holding that in combination with my belief that possibility is infinite, right, allows me to lean into what's truly important: connection with other, calling, living one's calling, and having an impact, leaving this place better than we found it. It's an opportunity to be fully present in the moment and to the moment, right? That enables or provides the option to truly live, right? We have the opportunity to be fully alive. So this is one of those quotes that here, I'm going to pop this up. If I could type and talk at the same time, I would. But here's the simple question: what does this bring up for you, right? What does this quote, the idea of everybody dies but not everybody lives, what does this bring up for you, right? Where is the opportunity for you when we think about the fact that we are finite? I'm fascinated by this, right? The idea that the fact that we are finite can flummox some and drive others to greatness. Do we have too little time? The Bonnie Ware from Australia wrote a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And I know I haven't mentioned it here, but I know, knowing the folks that have shown up for a lot of these broadcasts, that y'all are familiar, many of you are familiar with this. She writes with incredible clarity around regrets that surfaced again and again and again as she interviewed folk for this book. And I've pulled up the 5 that were the most common. There was no mention of insufficient status or undelivered revenge or sadness over not being the thinnest, prettiest, or most famous. These were the 5. One was, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Right? Living true to who I be and not living the shoulds. She says that was the most common regret of all. People realize that life is almost over and look back clearly on it. It's easy to see how many dreams have gone unfulfilled. Most people had not honored even a half of their dreams and had to die knowing that it was due to choices they had made or not made. People dying with their song still inside them. Second one was, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Nobody ever died wishing they had spent more time at the office. Third was, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Dying with love and feeling and connection unexpressed. The fourth was, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. And the fifth was, I wish that I had let myself be happier. In the middle of rereading Mo Gaudat's book, Solve for Happy, and the idea that happiness is our default state as humans. Look at an infant, look at a toddler. Outside of the needs for food, clothing, shelter, and safety, infants and toddlers default to happy. It's when we have grown up and begin to have thoughts that can compete with being happy that we find that we are not. When expectation diverges from reality, suffering begins. Wish I had let myself be happier. Many people didn't realize at the end, this is Bonnie Ware again. I keep saying it wrong. It's Bronnie Ware, by the way. Many didn't realize that in the end, happiness is a choice. They had stayed stuck in old patterns and habits. The so-called comfort of familiarity overflowed into their emotions as well as their physical lives. Fear of change had left them pretending to others and to themselves that they were content. Everybody dies, but not everybody lives. And that's our playground, right? What comes up for you in this? Yeah, Bill says, I think it dovetails into the other talks about taking that first step. There will never be a perfect one to do to start to finish anything, right? The idea is take action. Instead of waiting till it's perfect, thank you, Bill, instead of waiting till it's perfect, just right until you're ready. Take action. If we wait, what happens if we wait too long? Yeah, Karen says, it's interesting that the only thing we know for sure in life is death, yet it's something we don't freely discuss. It's astounding how much we leave that out of the conversation until our awareness of it is foisted upon us. It's a natural part of our existence. And yet we don't talk about it. We think about it and leave that festering inside, but we don't talk about it. What would it be like if we actually had these conversations, had the conversations that are hard? Yeah, Amanda Michelle says, The problem is we think we have time. Isn't that adorable that we think we have time? I mean, we think a lot of things, but instead of being active and engaged and alive while we're alive, feeling like we're alive while we're living, and taking advantage of all that's available to us, we wait for it. Whatever it is, we wait for something to happen, for us to do something, for us to create something, for us, our next to happen. Damn, what if we just lived full out? What if instead of waiting, we created? What if instead of waiting, you created? What would you create? I turned 50 several years ago. And in the last couple of years before that, big, I'm doing air quotes, big birthday, I started looking at it as my back 50. You know, I'd lived the front, I was in the middle of my front 50s, and I was on my 50th birthday entering my back 50. Given that, I can't predict that I'll live for another 47 years, 46 years. And in one way, acting as if I have all that time. What if I don't? Taking action and living fully. Thanks, Bill. Bill says I can live full out. I may need a loan from you, however. And I love the humor of that. And we have this, and I know that was meant to be funny, Bill, and I want to play with it anyway, because we seem to have this belief that we always have limited resources, whatever that be: time, money, flexibility, freedom, physical ability, that those limitations keep us from living full out, when in fact, the only thing keeping us from living full out is the stuff we make up. The only thing that ever really stops us is what we make up. Don't believe me? Spend an hour watching a series of TED Talks about overcoming. Go to Goalcast and watch a bunch of their 3, 5, and 7-minute videos about overcoming. We make up that we can't, and the only reason we can't is because we make up that we can't, so we don't. What if the only thing holding us back is the crap that we tell ourselves? Well, it is. I think that's the most exciting part. The reality that we will all die is a really cool reminder that we all can live. We just need to choose. Love that view, that way to look at things and start this new year. Yeah, Carl Bard says, although no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending. And yes, I'm going to put that up on the screen. Hopefully it will all fit. Oh, it doesn't. Yipes. Although no one can get back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending. And I'll post that in the Facebook group. No one come back and make a brand new start. I certainly wouldn't want to go back and live many of the things I've done. But I love the idea of making a brand new start, or starting something brand new right now to create a new ending. Would love to create something new. Yes, Thank you, Irv. Money, power, success, unlimited time, etc. They will find the magic pill. These are all distractions from the truth. All of the limited resources, all of the would wish that I hads and would that I haves and when I have. All those things are distractions from the truth. I hold that the truth is we have the unlimited ability to create. Things are created twice in this world, once here and once in reality. You get to start creating it here. You get to start creating it here. And it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Everything gets created twice, once in here and once in the real world. If and when you wish to see something different around you in the world, start by creating it here. Envision it. Play with it, roll around with it, toss it about in your head. Keep seeing it. Keep creating it in your head until you believe it, and then create it in the world. As Irv said, every day can be a brand new start. You know, Karen shared a resource that I'll put into the Facebook group. Again, it's facebook.com/groups/Mindset Mondays, and I'll post this there. But the Conversation Project, great way to start having those difficult conversations about your wishes and how we want to live when we lose the ability to communicate. And going back to Bronnie Ware, you know, the idea of wish you had the courage to live as your true self, wish that I hadn't worked so hard. Instead of having those be the regrets of the dying, what if those were the models for what you want to see different? What if you were at your end able to say, I had the courage to live my true self and not what others expected? What if you're able to say that I wish that I did not work so hard and was able to be in connection with those around me, that I had the courage to express my feelings and left nothing unsaid, unshared, unlived? What if you could say, I had stayed in touch with my friends? And even more than I let myself be happier, I chose to be happy. If those 5 things are the things that you can say at your end, how marvelous could now be? What I want for you this week is to choose to live and choose to live fully. You know, the news has been talking about Blue Monday, right? Third Monday of January, when people realize they have miscued on their New Year's resolutions, and when all the Christmas and Hanukkah shopping bills have shown up. And whether it's true or not, and there were some really adorable arguments about whether Blue Monday was a thing. It's January. It's the beginning of the year. How different will January of 2020 be if you choose, when you choose to live fully? So that's my invitation. Choose to live. And yes, Irv, I will. I'll post the books and the sites that were referenced in this. I'll go back and listen so I remember what I said so I can actually post them for you. What I want for you this week is to choose to live and live fully. And to begin to paint the picture of what January 2020 will look like when you have spent the next 11 months living full out. So between now and next Monday, what mindset will you choose?